Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my weekly Scriptures for Thoughts video show. All the, and now I'm the host of the most, Reverend Anthony Aunt T.Z. Walker, all up in my apartment room in Allerton Avenue, in the Allerton Avenue, Bronx, New York City, where everybody works hard, hustle the wise way, do a down payment investments, be all clean and spiffy. All up in my apartment room, Allerton Avenue, Bronx, New York City. My sermon topic for tonight is: out of many seeds that you plant on the soil, one of the seeds will become a leader of his own ministry. Throughout time and space and time, when God has sent prophets and holy men and righteous people to bring people into their temples or their tabernacles or their church. They have a long, hard time doing it, but at least they bring like a handful, like a big armful of people to the church, to the temples and their church gatherings and their tabernacles. And one of them in the future, when God's old prophet passed away, one of his fruits, his own people, will lead their own ministry. My first example is Elisha. Elisha, when he was fearing his life, being threatened by the evil queen Jezebel, Elisha spoke to God, and God spoke to him this way: Elisha, go into the fields of Israel and find a young man that has manhandled 12 cattle all by himself. His name is Elisha, your apprentice that will surpass you. So Elijah did exactly what Elijah did exactly what God told him, and he had Elisha to be his apprentice. After Elijah went into a firecracker fireworks tornado into heaven, Elisha did many things: healed people, prayed to God, and did miracles among the people of Israel. So Elisha led the people of Israel many years, much more further than Elijah. Now, my first example is Elijah on, even though you plant many seeds into the soil, one of these seeds will become a leader of his own ministry. Another example is Peter and Jesus. One day, when Andrew and Philip came after they meet Jesus, they went to find Peter in Posada, in a city called Posada in Israel. They said, "Hey, we found the one that Jesus wrote on the writings. Could he be the Messiah?" But Jesus walked in front of Peter and said, "Simon, son of Jonah, you will become Cephas," which means Peter, which means rock. So after Jesus levitated into heaven, after he was rose from the dead, then Peter became the leader of the whole church in Israel time in the book of Acts. Did many miracles, did healings, and prayed to God daily. Now, Jesus, Peter, Philip, and Andrew. There's another example of, even though you plant a lot of seeds into the soil, then one of those seeds become a leader of his own ministry. Another example is Daniel. Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. One day, when Daniel wasn't present with them, he was doing something for himself and to God, then all of a sudden, King Nebuchadnezzar King Nebuchadnezzar had brung a iron, brung a golden statue. Said everyone who does not worship the golden statue will be thrown into the fierce furnace of the fire. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, "We not going to worship any idols, any statues. God comes first. Everything else comes after." King Nebuchadnezzar was angry, and he had his soldiers to throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace of fire. And then the furnace of fire burned all the soldiers that pushed them into the fire. And then Jesus was then called the spirits of the Son of Man, came into a spirit form to console Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And then the soldier near King Nebuchadnezzar said, aren't these two people, aren't these three people you put into the furnace fire? And then King Nebuchadnezzar said, yes, they are. Then the soldier said, look, I see 4 people there, and one of them looked like the Son of God. Then all of a sudden, King Nebuchadnezzar yelled out at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Meshach, Abednego, come out this furnace of fire. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out the furnace of fire. Not a hair, not nothing burnt on him, not a hair on his head has been moved. So King Nebuchadnezzar said, from this day on, everybody will worship the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Or if they don't worship the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, will be thrown in the furnace, will be cut and will be punished and executed and be turned to, and the house be turned to rubble. Now my 4th example is Paul, Silas, and Timothy. One day in the book of Acts, when Paul was at near Macedonia and Athens, Greece, he saw a young man named Timothy that was godly like in presence. And then Paul circumcised Timothy because his father was a Greek and his mother was a Jewish Christian. Then after that, Paul had taught Timothy how to do all the things to lead his own ministries in Colossae, Berea, and Thessalonica. So years went by, and Timothy became a great leader. Timothy became a great leader in all 3 of these ministries. Lead them all the way. Now my 4th example is Paul and Silas and Timothy. In my fourth example of, out of many seeds that you plant into the soil, one of these seeds become a leader of his own ministry. Now the next time you see a great man, the next time you see a great righteous man like myself or many other people from church is inviting people to church and many people don't come, you know what? You know what you say to that man, like me or anybody else? You say to that man, out of many people that you invite to church and you plant seeds and you put them in the soil, one of these people become a leader of their own ministry. Now, as for in my apartment room, Allerton Avenue, Bronx, New York City, where everybody works hard, hustle the wise way, do a down payment investments, be all clean and spiffy, on my apartment room, Allerton Avenue, Bronx, New York City. Now, as for my weekly Scripture for Thoughts video show, a Bronx special, I'm your host of the most, Reverend-Preacher, Reverend Anthony Walker, say, Papa solo Papa solo Papa solo for rap.